Hey, how's it going, guys? So we're back with more Mass Effect lore videos. If you're new to the channel, welcome. So this one is called The Next Galactic Threat, Krogans. Now, I do remember that Krogans were, I don't want to say looked down upon, but pretty much considered a huge threat because of repopulating and their strength and everything, which caused, I'm pretty sure it was the, oh man, I'm so sorry if I say this incorrectly. I do apologize. I think it was either the Turians or the Solarians that caused the genophage, which limited their like repopulation and reproduction and everything like that, which caused many of them to die out and everything. If you guys have the correct one, I mean, like I do remember in the game, but I just don't remember the correct info off the top of my head, so that's why I don't want to sound ignorant or anything like that. I'm just taking a shot at the dark. But if you guys have the correct info or anything like that, please put it down in the comments below. I mean, I'm gonna research it either way, but you know, for maybe people who don't know Mass Effect as well as you do, you know, for them. But anyways, Krogans, we had two of them on our team, Rex and Grunt. Man, Rex was great. And I can't believe that there was an option that we could actually like shoot and kill him back in Mass Effect 1, because that was crazy. I can't imagine what the rest of the Mass Effect games would have been without him, because he was a pivotal point when it came to Tachanka. I still remember the planet's name. So without anything else, let's check out like why they're the next galactic threat. But I do remember that they were very strong, they repopulate very fast, and that's why there had to be like certain procedures to make sure that that doesn't happen. Now this is a little over 40-minute video, so make sure you guys have drinks, snacks, food, whatever you guys gotta do, so we can get through this. So without anything else, let's check out the Krogans.
Shepherd.
Grunt.
Shepherd.
Tachanka wasn't always a wasteland. In the old times, the Krogan were a proud people. We had dreams, a future to look forward to.
Until Solarian interference.
Oh yeah, so it was Solarians. I'm sorry if I'm sweating a little bit, it's humid.
Then the Krogan were lifted to the stars to destroy the fears of a galaxy. An enemy only we could chase to their lair.
What's up, Meta Nerds? In this complete
the rite of
breakdown, we'll pull
passage
from every resource available to completely understand the feared frog folk from our own Milky Way galaxy.
Oh, shout out to Meta Nerds Lore for the
They
video.
inhabit
I'm
a
so
world
sorry.
renowned for its harsh settings, limited resources, an excessive number of ferocious predators. Remarkably, the Krogan not only survived these unforgiving conditions, but also thrived amidst such extremes. And as Krogan civilization progressed technologically, so did their armament, to the point that their home would fall victim to a nuclear war that devolved their society into primitive warring factions. With the Solarians' assistance, the Krogans were elevated into the broader galactic community, leveraging their vast numbers and military prowess to bring an end to the Rachni Wars. Ironically, once the Rachni menace was eradicated, the rapidly expanding Krogan became the next threat, igniting the Krogan rebellions and compelling an allied alien force with Turians and Solarians to implement the genophage. This genetic affliction significantly curtailed fertility in Krogan females, resulting in a considerable decline in births, with this bioweapon intended to prevent conception, but would also lead to stillbirths and even early postnatal deaths.
I knew sisters who couldn't bear the shame of being infertile. They would wander off into the wastelands, hoping a thresher maw would kill them and end their torment.
Did the thought ever cross your mind?
Yes. After my first stillborn.
Which all worked to
remember
ultimately
that
eliminate the Krogan's numerical
conversation.
edge. That's the basic summary, but let's dive into their unique biology. The harshness of their environment has produced some equally hardy Krogan species. Though interestingly, unlike most intelligent beings, the Krogans possess widely spaced eyes, a trait commonly found among prey creatures on Earth. This anatomical feature grants the Krogan an impressive 240-degree vision, enhancing their visual acuity and vigilance against any approaching predators. Because even though we know them as tough warriors, they were battling countless horrors beyond the comprehension of offworlders. The
like
pupils of their
moss.
eyes are narrow, while the irises may exhibit various colors such as red, green, amber, or blue. Before the advent of the genophage, Krogan displayed a remarkable capacity for rapid reproduction and maturation, which was because so many of them would be eaten by predators. Females were known to produce clutches of up to 1,000 fertilized eggs within a year. And in the present day,
that's a lot.
analysis suggests that the likelihood of a Krogan successfully giving birth to 2 females stands in a mere 1 in 2,000 odds, or 0.0005%. Although Krogan biology is gradually adapting to the viral impact. Their large shoulder humps function
Are those
akin
tadpoles?
to Earth's camels,
Like
storing
frogs?
fluids and nutrients, enabling them to endure prolonged periods without sustenance. Remarkably self-sufficient in terms of water intake, a 55-gallon tank system can sustain an
Over a
entire
decade
Krogan
of
colony
water
for
supply.
over a decade. Which
Wow.
when combined with their fast birth rate, you can see why they were so successful in rapidly colonizing countless worlds. The size of their shoulder hump is indicative of high status, signifying an individual Krogan's hunting prowess. Protected by thick hides, they are virtually impervious to cuts, scrapes, and bruises, even some low-caliber firearms. And they exhibit exceptional resistance to environmental hazards like toxins, radiation, extreme heat, and cold. As a result, their diets encompass food and beverages that would be perilous to other species, as exemplified by their preferred liquor, Rincol, which is said to have
Rincol.
a devastating impact on non-Krogan drinkers. In their
Yeah,
early
back of-
stages, younger Krogan bear yellow or
Look
green
at
markings
Rex.
on their hides, which darken with age, transitioning into brown or tan, a sign of maturity throughout the community. The plates on
Well,
their
yeah,
heads are
I mean,
initially more
they're the
flexible,
perfect
with
predators.
soft spots in between like newborn human infants, but with time they fuse together to form a solid structure. Standing at over 7 feet tall, they are one of the most formidable sentient creatures in the entire galaxy, often
God,
weighing
they're
at
so
least
tall.
150 kilos, and some above average specimens reaching nearly 200 kilos, with records even having massive Krogan that can weigh around 800 pounds or about 632 kilos. And while biotic abilities are rare among them, those that do have this talent are extremely powerful. One of the most astonishing aspects of Krogan physiology is the presence of multiple major organs. These secondary and sometimes tertiary systems serve as backups in the event of damage to the primary biological structures. Krogans possess 2 hearts, 4 lungs, and 4 testicles, a fact reflected in their informal
Wow.
language, where they refer to their quads, whereas humans might say balls or grow a pair. Additionally, they have secondary
Grow
nervous
quad.
systems that employ a neuroconductive fluid, making it nearly impossible for them to be paralyzed by different drugs or assassination techniques. When injured, Krogans bleed a yellow or orange fluid, which is either this neuroconductive fluid or actual blood or a mix of both. Aside from these redundant systems, the infamous Krogan blood rage contributes to their reputation as extremely deadly opponents. In this state, Krogans become impervious to pain, literally turning off signals to the brain, and will fight
Dude, he's just
relentlessly
headbutting.
regardless of injuries. Although their logical reasoning and self-control diminish, they will not stop fighting unless it becomes physically impossible due to damage to their body. Due to their sheer physical robustness, individual Krogan can expect to live for centuries. In fact, their lifespans can exceed
is
1,000
crazy.
years, as evidenced by Warlord Okir, a veteran of the Krogan rebellions who passed away, under suspicious circumstances, well over 1,000 years after the end of the rebellions. Another example of Nakmor Drak, a 1,400-year-old veteran of the Krogan rebellions who joined the Andromeda Initiative for a voyage to the Helios cluster.
Oh, so this is
But we
in
have
the
to remember
Andromeda.
that despite their innate toughness, Krogan do have their physical vulnerabilities. According to Zaid Masani,
Get a knife stuck in the right way, and you can pull that plate right off a Krogan's head. It's the best way to get a Krogan to talk. The threat of it drives them mad.
and this is about the only thing that a Krogan actually fears having done to them. A way to torture a Krogan if you need to. Now let's look at their culture. Because of those harsh conditions on the Krogan's native world, it didn't just mold their bodies, but it also shaped
Looks like
their
they're drunk.
psychology. Throughout their history, Krogan have exhibited inclinations towards selfishness, a lack of sympathy, and straightforwardness. Whenever disagreements arise among Krogan, a display of dominance might involve one of them engaging in a headbutt.
Oh!
But they hold strength and self-reliance in high regard and are neither surprised nor offended by acts of treachery. And their most severe insult is to deem someone not worth killing. For their entire evolutionary history, to the prehistory of their modern culture and beyond, the weak and selfless do not survive for long, and their culture prioritizing one's own interest comes as an obvious fact. And while their strong territorial instincts serve them well in combat, it does create challenges. For instance, sharing quarters on starships becomes nearly impossible for the Krogan.
Sometimes I'm not sure if the Normandy's a warship or a traveling freak show. But as long as he can hold a gun.
As in their minds, being treated as inferior in any way triggers something deep in their psychology that their life is being threatened. As back home in the tribal days, losing respect was often followed by losing your life. Labeling a Krogan as weak invites violent retaliation. While the term phage lucky serves as an insult, branding someone as a runt who only reached adulthood because the genophage eliminated those stronger than him during infancy. Younger Krogan use this term to taunt their elders. Most Krogan place their trust solely in themselves and serve no one else. This individualistic outlook partially stems from a deep sense of fatalism and hopelessness, a more modern psychological impact from the genophage.
Most seem hell-bent on shooting anything that looks at them wrong.
That's that reporter.
What else is there for them to do? Because of the genophage, they become wandering killers.
Dude, that was funny.
Seeking targets to justify their existence. Excuses to earn them honor.
Not only do they harbor resentment towards a galaxy seemingly set against them, but they also hold a generally pessimistic view regarding the race's chance of survival. The surviving Krogan see no purpose in building for the future. As far as they're concerned, there will be no future. The Krogan live with a prevailing attitude of violence and short-sightedness, primarily focused on personal gain. One of their sayings reflects their version of cooperation, quote, "Seek the enemy of your enemy and you will find a friend," something that seems to be universal across all species. Tank-bred Krogan face significant social disdain in Krogan culture, possibly even more than those without a clan. Traditionalists deny them adult status and equal voice within the tribe.
You say you are pure. Okir constructed you? No alien meddling?
The best Krogan traits are distilled into Grunt. He's designed to be perfect.
Being designed is the problem, but not made by aliens. And he is truly powerful. That is a tolerable loophole.
Yeah, I remember Grunt got looked down upon because he was like tank bred instead of like purebred.
The current balance of the clans.
Though more enlightened clans may allow them to participate in rituals and ascend in ranks based on their own merits. The few female Krogan typically remain on their home planets, dedicating themselves to breeding in an effort to preserve their population. The limited number of fertile females capable of carrying offspring to term are highly valued as spoils of war. Entire wars have been fought over them, so of course they all expect at one point to be captured, serve as bargaining pieces, or the cause of the next clan war. Nevertheless, deliberately harming a female Krogan is considered a grave offense, and would get both clans in this war to hate you, where the best you could hope for was death and exile, though often the punishment was much worse. By the 2180s, Krogan female inhabit separate clans from their male counterparts. Envoys are dispatched from the female clans to assess the worthiness of males seeking to visit them, and because of the genophage, this happens frequently, leading to many male Krogan fathering children with a single female. And psychologically, the Krogan female are more composed, trying to fit the role as a wise matriarch, and not just the brute strength of the males. Their children are raised within the female's camp, occasionally sent to the males for training. If a male desires to claim his offspring, he can request the right of parentage. However, according to Eve, Krogan
There's
are
a rite
not
of passage and
particularly
rite of
skilled at
parentage?
weaning their infants. Often they become inebriated on Sovac juice and engage in belching contests, seeing what word that burp sounded like, and often that becomes the kid's name.
Oh yeah, like Grunt.
Well, the males get drunk on Savac juice and have belching contests. Whatever happens to sound like a word becomes a name.
You're saying Rex was a belch?
And I wouldn't remind him if I were you.
Evidence of the Krogan's past and present psyche
that's
can
funny.
be seen in their architecture and infrastructure. Ancient Krogan
And I remember
constructed towering
Grunt
pyramidal
was named
structures,
because he heard that
enormous
word many
monuments, and
times.
cities adorned with interior artwork. Millennia later, the ruins endure the passage of time, serving as reminders of the Krogan's glorious past, even though certain places, like the City of the Ancients, have long been abandoned. All Krogan constructions are massive and built to withstand the test of time, and hospitals are particularly robust, designed to endure the blood rage of numerous Krogan that could be stampeding through the halls at any moment. Tuchanka's surface is scattered with sturdy, blocky ruins, some of which are still inhabitable according to Krogan standards. And while they do not hold traditional weddings, they do partake in and appreciate courtship rituals. In the
Krogan
Andromeda
mating
Galaxy,
ritual.
the segregation of the sexes
Just
has
headbutting.
eased due to the necessity of a united Krogan front in building their civilization anew. Females are likely to have diversified roles, just like the males, and are no longer solely focused on breeding. As for religion, the Krogan do not demonstrate pronounced religious convictions. The closest semblance to religion is their establishment of ritualistic burial grounds known as the Hollows, where the skulls of their ancestors are exhibited, serving as a reminder of, quote, where we all come from and where we all go. The Hollows hold sacred significance for the Krogan, and any form of violence within is strictly prohibited. Though they do have a sense of deities. One of the most ancient is Vol, a god who diligently guarded against the enemies of his pantheon. The planet Vol is named in honor of this god, much like the human tradition, while the moons bear the names
Vol.
of Vol's countless eyes and ears.
Ancient
Another
Krogan
deity is
deity.
Uzin, the god of vengeance, who also has a planet named after him. They also appear to have a belief in some sort of form of afterlife. Numerous Krogan mention a place called the Void, where Krogan are said to journey upon death. Moreover, the planet Krogan
Oh, so that's their
derives
version
its
of
name
heaven?
from a mythological paradise where honorable Krogan warriors feast on the internal organs of their enemies, something like their version of Valhalla. Krogan customs are deeply intertwined with rituals. When a Krogan is born, he undergoes a rite of life, and upon reaching maturity, the rite of passage is embraced. And to be considered for breeding, one must undertake the rite of honor. When confronting a new adversary, the rite of firsts is invoked, and in the event of a dispute between two Krogan, the rite of union may offer reconciliation by directing their enmity toward a mutual foe. If aspiring to assume clan leadership, the right of authority determines whether the current leader retains the position or surrenders it to the challenger. Positions of authority entail additional responsibilities, such as that of the clan leader or shaman. The clan shaman preserves the rite of passages and all other rites and traditions, keeping a sort of ledger for the result of each of these rites. Irrespective of whether male or female, the shaman must endure arduous and demanding rituals to assume this role. It requires them to give up their name. Because of how much honor a Krogan puts on their name, this is seen as a profound dedication, and the shaman is held in the highest esteem within the clan.
How were you initiated?
You're locked in a cave for 7 days with just enough food to last. On the 8th, you'll starve.
What does that prove?
Your resolve. Every acolyte is given a chance. You either claw your way out through the rock with your bare hands, or you die.
Damn.
That's a brutal initiation.
But an illuminating one. You learn to appreciate the light by living in the dark.
How did you make it out alive?
I started digging the wrong way. I was in complete darkness. Nothing other than my own heartbeat to sustain me.
What happened?
I found this. A simple crystal, but it became my chisel. Take it as a reminder, Commander. In the darkest hour, there is always a way out.
Regarding the handling of the deceased, they have
I
at
didn't
least
get a
two
crystal from
formal
her.
practices. One involves ending their own lives and leaving the body for scavengers to consume, while another method involves funeral pyres, during which the shaman offers a eulogy and symbolically consigns the departed to the void. Funeral pyres are reserved for Krogan who have died valiant deaths, like seen with one who might have saved the future of their entire race. As for their language, there isn't much information available concerning the Krogan language, with only a few terms defying translation. Certain terms are unique to specific Krogan clans, such as Aralak, originating from Clan Rake. Krogan names consist of two parts, opposite of most humans, with it being a clan name followed by a given name. At birth, they are identified solely by their given name, and they get that clan name after the Krogan successfully completes a rite of passage, specific to the clan they aspire to join, which is usually, but not necessarily, the one they were born into.
Grunt, you are Urdnot. We now own property. Join the army and apply to serve under a battle master.
Clan diplomats represent their people's strength to other clans, making it essential for them
No
to
match.
exude
I
an
really like
intimidating
that.
presence to avoid becoming targets of conquest. And so when the young Krogan is ready to join a clan, the shaman would supervise that rite of passage. For Clan Urdnot, the rite entails confronting various untamed creatures on Tuchanka.
I still remember that
culminating in a
fight.
showdown with a Thresher Maw. Merely surviving for 5 minutes demonstrates worthiness, while slaying the Thresher Maw elevates the initiate's prestige and status. In contrast, Clan Nakmor regards this rite more as a death trap, and survival leads to membership in their clan. Observing a rite of passage is a rarity for outsiders, although there are no Krogan traditions prohibiting non-Krogans from aiding in the undertaking by serving as the participants' Krant, a word signifying a Krogan warrior's
so we helped
most
them out.
trusted allies.
My Krant gave me strength beyond my genes, which are damn good.
There are two distinct forms of government in their Milky Way and later Andromeda civilizations, and so let's start by looking at home. After their defeat in the rebellions, the very idea of Krogan leadership was forever tarnished. Whereas a warlord once possessed the might to subjugate entire
Look at that
solar
little Krogan at the
systems
bottom.
and ascend as an overlord, nowadays it was uncommon for a
And
solitary
right there, it looks
leader
like
to
Rex's
command
kid.
more than 1,000 warriors. Some speculate that the Krogan's innate aggression and territorial disposition hinder the formation of any centralized government or parliament that doesn't rely on fear or submission. Like we see on their homeworld Tuchanka, it's all fragmented into multiple nation-states, one of which is the Republic of Gerst, which we could see in Rebellion in 2185. In the galaxy somewhat far away, Clan Nakmor comprises the majority of Krogan who left the Milky Way and, as a result, owe allegiance to clan leader Nakmor Morda. Following the foundation of New Tachanka on Aladdin, Morta proclaimed herself
Don't worry guys,
as
this is
the
not spoilers
overlord
for
of all
Andromeda. I
Krogan
probably won't
residing
remember
in the
this.
Helios cluster. But now let's take a deeper look at their military. The traditional Krogan strategies were centered around attrition, mass unit warfare. Armed with affordable and resilient equipment, their troop formations wielded formidable power but lacked flexibility. Command and control were highly centralized, with soldiers on the field contacting their commanders behind the lines in order to coordinate fire support. However, since the Genophage, the Krogan can no longer afford the heavy casualties incurred by their old Horde-style attacks. The Battlemasters now possess unmatched prowess, easily equaling the strength of 10 soldiers from other species. For a Battlemaster, killing becomes a precise science. They concentrate on developing a clean, brute force economy of movement, utilizing their brutal strength to swiftly incapacitate enemies with overwhelming power in a single blow. The shift in focus from mass unit warfare to maximum efficiency has resulted in a growing demand for their services in security and muscle-for-hire fields. Given the Krogan's unfavorable reputation, most of these opportunities are situated beyond the boundaries of normal law. While Battlemasters may not adhere to strict formalities, they firmly believe in being well armed and equipped, often carrying a weapon for each limb. Callous and brutal, yet methodical and disciplined, they employ any means necessary to accomplish their objectives, regardless of how reprehensible. Taking hostages and engaging in genocide are deemed acceptable methods to ensure a swift and minimally costly occupation. The Krogan enlisted in Saren's forces appear to be reverting to their traditional approach of mass attrition warfare, and they forge close alliances with supporting Geth units, which assume roles similar to combat drones in other armies. Biotics are a rare sight among Krogan, especially since the practice of surgically creating Krogan biotics
enemy
has been
Krogans were so
discontinued
tough
due to the high mortality rate associated with it. And with a culture so based around physical strength, those that possess biotic abilities are met with suspicion and fear. It wasn't manly and there was just no honor in biotic powers. But at the same time, there was a fear-based respect for this ability. The warrior brute might not like the magician, but would still be afraid of their arcane power. And so that same dynamic was actually used by clan leaders, who would often promote the rare biotic Krogan into the position of an officer. As the lower-ranking Krogan might have a disdain for their superior anyways, knowing the boss had magic powers that you didn't fully understand made it so those beneath them didn't think that they could overpower him. But first, let's thank our partners over at Geeky Grotto, who are having another 10% off sale on
oh wow, this is the first time I'm seeing Meta Nerds lore.
Got a huge haul of stuff, cool giant builds like this, which has this motor that it's going to use, cute mini block ones like this, and of course,
yeah, look at all the
awesome
Star
little
Wars stuff in the
minifigs I'm
background.
excited to add to the collection. As you can see, I already have a ton of their stuff. It's really high quality builds that are compatible with Legos.
Oh, dude, look at that.
I'm really excited
I gotta
to get
get
to building these.
I love
Mock
Legos.
builds
I gotta
usually
get some of
give you
those.
access to all sorts of builds that you can't get anywhere else, and they all come with free shipping to the United States. Check out the site. It really is fun to see all these amazing designs, from space fighters to pirate ships, real world models, kawaii tabletop decor and anime, to military builds and all kinds of parts you need, like motors, loose bricks, lights, plates, and roads. Pew pew. I really love my Geeky Grotto builds, all kinds of neat stuff. I'm sure you'll like something. Check them out using the link down below for an additional 10% off. Thanks again to Geeky Grotto. Krogan military strategy adopts a distinct perspective on scouting and reconnaissance. While scouts from other races prefer stealth and discretion, Krogan scouts instead employ psychological warfare when confronting their enemy. This involves occasional harassment and deliberate exaggeration of their own numbers. The rationale behind this approach is that it becomes easier to gauge enemy strength when some of them are eliminated in the process. They aren't trying to stay hidden, they're actually taking a small sample of their enemy. Some of the most notable weapons crafted by the Krogan include the Growl Spike Thrower Shotgun and Striker Assault Rifle. The Growl, specifically tailored for Thresher Maw hunting, predictably inflicts gruesome effects on humanoid targets. Meanwhile, the Striker, a fully automatic weapon, unleashes high-impact explosive slugs with substantial recoil, proving challenging for non-Krogan individuals to maintain accuracy, despite the fact that it was designed for others like humans in mind. And they also employ a sizable infantry fighting vehicle called the Tomka. In the past, they did possess a formidable space fleet comprising numerous dreadnoughts, but since the culmination of the Krogan rebellions, they have been demilitarized, forbidden from constructing warships, and this prohibition is enforced by the Council Demilitarization Enforcement Mission, which maintains garrisoned outposts throughout the Krogan DMZ.
Bro, imagine having that fleet during the last battle.
The ban, but typically the coalition of rivals crushes their dreams, snuffing out any vision of a Krogan hegemony long before Citadel forces need to engage. Remnants of the Krogan rebellions, such as deactivated long-range ground-to-space anti-ship batteries, are scattered across Tuchanka's surface, and serve as testaments to the Krogan's past glory and military might, but hold no practical significance today. And now we can turn to their history proper. In the distant past, Krogan society flourished with a plethora of cultural, architectural, and artistic achievements. But the moment industrialization took root, the Krogan birth rate surged beyond the natural limits of their predatory homeworld.
We had dreams, a future to look forward to.
Until Solarian interference.
No, we destroyed Tuchanka ourselves. Technology changed us. It made life too easy. So we looked for new challenges, and found them in each other. Nuclear war was inevitable.
Wars ensued as the Krogan expanded, and as they spread, they were vying for diminishing resources. Around 4 millennia ago, as the Krogan entered the nuclear era, conflicts over small enclaves of habitable land escalated into all-encompassing global war. The unleashing of weapons of mass destruction left Tuchanka devastated, transformed into a radioactive wasteland. Reduced to primitive warring clans, the Krogan struggled to survive the nuclear winter of their own making, an enduring state that persisted until they were discovered by the Solarians 2,000 years later. The Solarians played a significant role in liberating the Krogan from their primitive state, bestowing advanced technology upon them and relocating them to a planet free from lethal radiation, toxins, and dangerous predators. They also provided a means to stabilize Tuchanka's atmosphere through the Shroud. However, the Solarian intervention was not without its ulterior motives. Amidst the ongoing galactic war with the Rachni, a spacefaring insect race, the Solarians hoped to enlist the Krogan as soldiers to combat the seemingly invincible foe. This strategy proved highly successful, as within 2 generations, the rapidly multiplying Krogan not only repelled the Rachni, but adapted to their harsh environments as well. The Krogan pursued the Rachni to their homeworlds, eliminated the Rachni queens, and were believed to make the entire species go extinct. During a brief period, the Krogan were hailed as the galaxy's saviors, and were rewarded with the conquered Rachni worlds and other planets in Citadel space for colonization, as a token of gratitude for their assistance. The Citadel Council even commissioned the Krogan Monument, a statue in the Presidium, in honor of all the fallen Krogan soldiers who defended Citadel space.
The statue represents what the Krogan used to be. A proud,
until Grunt started climbing that thing.
Now we're just brutes for hire to the highest bidder. We've forgotten our roots.
The Krogan rebelled against the Council, yet they have a statue on the Citadel. And we Quarians still live as outcasts.
Ironic.
You still live. In another 200 years, this statue might be the only evidence my people ever existed.
However, without the constraints of Tuchanka's harsh conditions, the Krogan population grew exponentially. As a result, overcrowding and resource depletion drove the Krogan to forcibly claim other worlds already inhabited by races loyal to the Citadel. The desire for just one world persisted, and tensions escalated when the Krogan began encroaching on the Asari colony of Lucia. Upon the Council's orders to withdraw, Overlord Kredak, the Krogan ambassador, stormed out of the chambers, daring the Citadel races to come and take their worlds back. This would lead to the next war. For nearly 3 centuries, the Krogan rebellions raged on, inflicting substantial losses upon the Krogan. However, their extraordinary birth rate continued to drive a steady increase in their population. Unwavering in their determination, they resorted to drastic measures, like redirecting asteroids into worlds, and it seemed like Krogan victory was inevitable. In desperation, the Council sought aid from the recently encountered Turian hierarchy. The Turians had one of the strongest militaries they'd ever seen, and with the help of the Solarians, they deployed
and I did check out that video, so if you guys haven't already, go check it out.
The Krogan homeworlds. This malevolent
the one about the
brought
Turians.
near total infant mortality to the Krogan, with only 1 birth in 1,000 living on into adulthood. With their numbers no longer replenishing, the Krogan were compelled to submit to the terms of surrender. In recognition of their role in quelling the Krogan rebellions, now the Turians earned a seat on the Citadel Council. In stark contrast, the heroes from the previous war were now forced to continue to suffer from the lingering consequences of the genophage. And while the Turians were excited to be so rapidly accepted into the galactic community, of course they were aware of the implicit threat that they too could be destroyed if the other aliens allied against them. Over the past millennium, the Krogan population has steadily dwindled, leaving them scattered and facing extinction. Some have resorted to bizarre treatments for the genophage, including testicle transplants.
Some Krogan believe that testicle transplants can increase their virility. counteract the effects of the genophage. It doesn't work, but that doesn't stop them from buying. They'll pay up to 10,000 credits each. That's 40,000 for a full set.
Yet with the looming certainty of their species' demise,
Damn.
most Krogan have become
Hey, you gotta do what you gotta
individualistic
do.
and solely self-interested, giving up on the future of their species. As a result, they simply wish to eat, drink, and be merry, which of course includes getting in fights, and they often offer their services as mercenaries to the highest bidder, harboring resentments and disdain toward the Citadel races. Rex disparagingly remarks how establishments like clubs, bars, and brothels often seek to hire Krogan bouncers, reducing his once proud people to mere status symbols. Despite reports of unsuccessful Krogan-funded research on the genophage by 2183, the majority of Krogan have shown little interest in seeking a cure, prioritizing combat over scientific endeavors. Unless a remedy is discovered and implemented, the extinction of the Krogan appears inevitable. In 2185, Morden Solus reveals that the Krogan are, in fact, undergoing an evolutionary process to counter the effects of the genophage,
Rest
which in
in
a way
peace,
can
Morden.
just be seen as the latest predator, the greatest of evolutionary forces imposed on them. Where their children were once eaten by various beasts, now they were destroyed by alien tech. And similarly, over all these years, they were evolving to counter this effect. To address overpopulation concerns, Morden's Special Task Group devised a modified version of the genophage aimed at maintaining a controlled population size while allowing for a viable existence. An update, if you will, that would increase the percentage of viable births. This suggests that the Krogan race may not be as doomed as they believe, and Morden explains that both the original and modified genophage were always intended to stabilize Krogan birth rates at pre-industrial levels.
Commonly and incorrectly considered a sterility plague. Actually adjusts viable fertility rates to compensate for a high Krogan birth rate, stabilizes to pre-industrial population growth levels.
That having one viable birth per 1,000 was actually what the pre-industrial Krogans were always used to, even if far lower than the Golden Era, that time when tech enabled them to conquer their world and the stars. And there was some deep and sad irony here, in that because they were stripped of their artificial growth induced by the tech of their Golden Age, they feel that they are doomed, and do not concentrate their efforts on one project to save their species. They just roam about the galaxy seeking combat, and in turn make their situation even worse. In 2186, Earth falls under the Reaper invasion, compelling Commander Shepard to seek allies, including the Krogan. The Turian forces require the Krogan's assistance in defending their homeworld, Palavan.
We need the Krogan. I can't see us winning this thing without them. Get them to help us, and then we can help you.
The Krogan. Looks like your summit just got a lot more interesting.
And the Krogan agree to aid in rescuing Earth from the Reapers on the condition of a cure for the genophage. Based on Shepard's actions in 2185 regarding Malleon's research data, either Morden or Paddock Wicks, with the help of Eve, one of the last fertile female Krogan, manages to develop a potential cure. Should Shepard convince Morden to preserve the data, Eve survives the procedure, otherwise she dies from complications. Heading to the Shroud to distribute the cure, despite the sabotage by the STG to hinder this effort, Shepard faces a crucial decision. The Solarian scientist can be allowed to override the sabotage at the cost of his life, dying in the process of spreading the cure's release, or he can be persuaded to fake the cure.
Years ago, our operatives sabotaged the Shroud to ensure what you were planning couldn't be done. Morden will likely detect this malfunction and repair it. But if you ensure that he doesn't, then the cure's viability will be altered just enough so that it fails. No one will notice the change.
You mean trick the Krogan?
They need not be any the wiser. Let Erd not Reeve believe you fulfilled your promise.
Morden would never stand for that.
How you deal with him is up to you, Commander.
If the genophage is truly cured, the Krogan pledge their support in war.
To be honest,
against
I can't
the
do
Reapers.
that, even if I play as a renegade, to be honest.
And Erdnot Rex leads the Krogan, he uncovers the treachery and withdraws their support.
I know what you did.
We can provide you our very best scientists to build the Crucible, and the full support of our fleets.
If I sabotage the cure.
Think about it, Commander.
Yeah, I can't do that to Rex, I'm sorry.
Where did you get that?
Morden wasn't my only source in STG. Or did you think I was as dumb as my brother, Reeve? What have you done?
Why would I betray you, Rex? I've known you a long time. It's you and me, taking on the galaxy together.
But words aren't going to cut it this time, Shepard. I will honor our friendship, though, by shooting you in the head and making it quick! That was for the bomb that exploded on Tuchanka. The one you couldn't be bothered to stop. And before you die, I want you to know I'm calling
so the bomb could be blown
for
up.
Earth. If my people go extinct, so do yours.
It doesn't have to be this way, Rex.
It should have been this way back on Vermeer. But I made the mistake of trusting you, believing you were my friend. Ah! Ah!
So you can kill Rex.
I know what you did.
What the hell pissed him off?
I don't know. He just went crazy.
Yeah, Krogan can do that. Genophage makes them screwy and nothing to live for, so they just snap. Well, whatever. Just another mess to clean up now.
But if Erdnot Reeve is in charge, the
I
Krogan
can't
are
do that.
deceived into believing the genophage is cured. The fate of the Krogan varies significantly by the war's conclusion. In the case of the sabotaged cure and the non-merger of organics and synthetics, the Krogan remain as troubled as before, possibly heading towards extinction. Because remember, they were evolving to adapt to it, having slightly increased percentages of births, higher than the original rate before the industrial era. But if they get the genuine cure, the Krogan are shown to repopulate, and under Rex's leadership, they actively aid in Tuchanka's reconstruction. Under Reeve's rule, he attempts to exploit the resurgent Krogan for his own purposes, confronted by Eve if she's alive, or succeeding if she's not.
Females back home say now that the genophage is cured, we need to play nice with the rest of the galaxy. I cured the genophage, and now it's time we reminded the galaxy why they feared the Krogan.
So Reeve would have just
Now, pay attention to what the Turians are doing.
conquered the galaxy
And the
again.
Quarians. Don't forget those damn Solarians. I don't know how they got here. Cooperate with them, but remember their tactics. Study their formations. Never know when we might be paying them a visit someday.
In 2185, the majority of Clan Nakmor, accompanied by several representatives from other clans, embarked on a journey from the Milky Way as part of the Andromeda Initiative, with the aim of establishing a new home in the Andromeda Galaxy. Dealing with the challenges posed by the genophage, they underwent gene therapy during their cryosleep, achieving a modest yet noteworthy increase in their offspring's viability.
So, does that make me the godparent?
Don't let it get to your head. We're going to need more than one.
Hope. It's a scary thing. I'll teach them, Ryder, about what we used to be and what we are now.
Just like he taught me.
About 600 years later, the disastrous arrival of the Nexus in Andromeda led to a mutiny that was swiftly squashed by the resolute Krogan forces. The Nexus leadership betrayed their agreement to grant the Krogan a place on their leadership council, again being used and tricked by a galactic government, leading the Krogan to depart from the space station alongside the mutineers, seeking a better future elsewhere. Choosing Aladdin as their new settlement, the Krogan christened their stronghold as New Tuchanka. Overlord Nakmor Morda assumed leadership of the race, while Nakmor Kesh remained on the
like there's a
Nexus
lot
to
going
ensure
on
the Krogan
in
retained
Andromeda.
allies there. So now that we can close the codex on the Krogan, let's head to some cool facts and behind-the-scenes stuff. Before Mass Effect 3, only a solitary female Krogan could be encountered. She could be found during Mordin Solus's loyalty mission, in her lifeless form covered with a tarp on a table, notably smaller in stature compared to the male Krogan.
Turians and humans destroying Krogan utterly. Genophage was better. Saved lives.
Look at the dead woman, Morden. It doesn't look like you saved her.
No, it doesn't.
Matt Rhodes, the associate art director of Mass Effect, shared that the facial appearance of the Krogan was influenced by bats. Of course, overall, they're inspired by toads.
Really? I didn't know
along with
that.
the insanely high reproduction rate, while knowing that they will lose many of their offspring to predators. With toads having about a 10%
look at that
survival
design.
rate from egg to adulthood. And according to the art of the Mass Effect universe, BioWare drew inspiration from the architectural works of Frank Lloyd Wright when designing ancient Krogan structures, though of course with a more rugged appearance suitable for the characters. You can play as one in Mass Effect 3's co-op multiplayer mode, and stuffed Krogan heads were included in some locations within BioWare's games Dragon Age 2 and Dragon Age Inquisition. In Mass Effect 2, Krogan enemies were known to comment on the weapon Shepard was currently holding. offering praise for shotguns, dismissiveness towards pistols, and evident dismay for heavy weapons. Writer Chris Helper suggested the idea of the Krogan's redundant organs, which may be inspired by Star Trek's Klingons, another warrior race sharing similar traits. A slight discrepancy arises regarding the number of Krogan hearts. Char and Morden Solis in Mass Effect 2, along with Nakmor Kesh in Mass Effect Andromeda Initiation, all say that there's 2 hearts, whereas Nakmor Drek says it's 4 during banter with Jal Amma Darav in The Nomad. Which I actually like, as there's some in-universe disagreement on the facts, or the lore. There are a lot of weird, interesting, and funny clan names. There's so many that I didn't want to ruin the flow of the video before, so please hit that like button in case this is too much. It's kind of ridiculous that there's this much obscure lore on this, so I had to include it. Clan Bragus. Bragus Thule plays as a quarterback in North American Union Rules football. Clan Dambra, one of the several clans with individuals that joined the Andromeda Initiative. Drell Sors is a Ruzad, or judge, in the Republic of Gerst on Tuchanka. Clan Forsan. This clan's leader declared that being hit by Pyjak dung is grounds for executing the traitor responsible for introducing them on Tuchanka, giving his life a whole other side mission there. Clan Ganar, Ganar Rang, an exiled Krogan battlemaster, founded the Blood Pack mercenary group. Clan Gatatog, led by Gatatog Uvenk on Tuchanka. Clan Gratkin, with Graken Dal being a warlord, involved in the bombardment of the Jeris during the Krogan rebellions. Clan Gulnaz, one of several clans with individuals that joined the Andromeda Initiative. Clan Halot, where their leader, Halot Rund, controlled Garvar prior to the corporatist invasion of 2185. Clan Jer also joined the Andromeda Initiative. Clan Jorgal, which had one of the longest breeding lines and oldest bloodlines. Clan Jerdon was an enemy of Clan Erdnot on Tuchanka. Clan Karis, one of several minor clans with individuals that joined the Andromeda Initiative. Clan Kel Burum being a Krogan
There's a lot of
at
clans.
Pinnacle Station. Clan Kor and Kormer also joined the Andromeda Initiative. Clan Korten was famous for making Klixen roasted Varan jerky with their own signature Pyjak sauce. There was Clan Nakmor.
Hey, you gotta be known for something.
Clan Quash, with Klosh
But there's a
Hergot
lot
being
that joined the
Blood Pact
Andromeda
commander.
Initiative.
Clan Rake, the source of the word Auralok, meaning Eye of Wrath, which became the name that the galaxy used to refer to Tuchanka's star. Clan Ravenor, which ran mining operations on Tuchanka. Clan Shath, with Shath Norda surviving a trip to the planet Kruben. Clan Strogjaw, with Strogjaw Grog being a member who joined and then deserted the Andromeda Initiative. Clan Talith attempted to rebuild a dreadnought on Tuchanka with the helps of Turian Duraksh Elias Valturus. Clan Thax, the clan of Krogan businessman Thax Vordak. Of course we get Clan Erdot with Erdot Rex. Clan Wirelock, and Clan Wick, which also joined the Andromeda Initiative. I told you it was a lot. But if you made it this far, please hit that like button. It really is the best way to help me out. Leave a comment down below, subscribe to see more, and check out these videos. I'm sure you'll like them. But most important of all, remember, don't bite the alien hand that uplifted you. They can put you down a whole lot faster. But for now, I should go.
Okay, so I know that was a long video, but however, that was really great. The next galactic threat, the Krogans. And you guys see why they're, when we went down the biological breakdown, now you see why they're very tough. Like they can hold a whole lot of water, and basically they're tough skinned. They're basically immune to many like temperatures and environmental hazards, which makes them the perfect predator. So Rex and Grunt are amazing. To be honest, that Renegade option where you shoot Rex, I don't think I can do it. So when I play it again, I will make different choices, but however, if it means sacrificing or killing my crewmates, I'm not going to do it, to be honest. And also on top of that, the Krogans, I know how like they're pretty, they're like mostly mercenaries and bounty hunters when we like first went into Mass Effect 1. But I mean like that's basically all they can do now because there's so few of them. And on top of that, I know how like at the end of Mass Effect 3, Rex was more focused on rebuilding and repopulating the planet of Tuchanka and basically being more peaceful, while Reeve is more focused on rebuilding and trying to build like a Krogan empire. So those are like two different options, but I did not know there were so many options where Eve could die and some things like that. There's so many like scenarios and so many options. Like Mass Effect is a much bigger game than I thought. But either way, I'm really excited to play Renegade when I can, and hope you guys will be excited to see me play as well. So anyways, that's all I got for today. So that was the next galactic threat of Krogan. Shout out to Meta Nerds Lore again for the video. And also hit that notification bell so you know when I drop another video. And thank you to all my subscribers and members, viewers. You guys are all amazing. You guys are the reason why I still crank out videos. So until then, I'll see you guys next time.